Yes, 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 yes. So, about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I wrote this book called You Don't Have to Die Broke. And the reason I wrote it is a lot of the stuff that I was seeing in like mainstream finance, because I've always had an interest since I was a kid. My favorite class in high school, I took a class and it was economics, and I thought it was cool. We went to the Futures Exchange in Chicago, and I thought that was super cool. And so I've always kind of had this addiction to markets and trading and economics and just trying to understand the flow of money and how it moves around the world and interest rates and all these things that tie in to the idea of the money flow as the way I see it. And a lot of the stuff that I was seeing pushed out by, traditional finance advisors, and nothing on them if you're one, this idea that you want so much money in bonds and you want so much money in stocks. And then I would look back and I would see historically stocks go up. That like 70% of the time the market just goes up. And yeah, it has these periods or these moments of crisis where the prices go down. True enough, that happens, but every time that happens in the past, that's like been an opportunity. And I would sit around and I wonder, why do we tell retirees and older people to take half of their earning power, their retirement, and put only half of it in stocks? Like as you get older, you should buy more bonds and more bonds and more bonds. And I can't understand that philosophy when, dude, when I'm 70, I want my net worth growing. When I'm 70, I want to be making more money. And so it seems to me and it's really because of the way the traditional model is set up. And I started to think, well, why wouldn't I want to be like all in stocks and then also have some other assets? And so what I realized is really what I needed to do was you needed to allocate your buckets, right? But that system that is set up is really geared to profit the financial advisor and to profit the banks and to profit Wall Street. That isn't really the best strategy for average people, especially people like me. If you want to be a blue-collar millionaire, if your goal is to be a millionaire, what's taught in traditional finance is not going to get you there anytime fast. And if you go look at some of the gurus like the Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, and even my friend Tony Robbins, who I love Tony Robbins, but his book Money is not going to get you, if you're trying to become a millionaire, it's just not going to do it. This allocation of stocks to bonds that is not how any of them got rich. Tony Robbins did not make $600 million putting his money in index funds. Dave Ramsey did not become worth over $100 million putting his money in mutual funds like he teaches people, okay? Susie Orman did not get rich teaching any of the bullshit she's teaching. They got rich owning businesses, and they made huge sums of money. Now, Dave Ramsey may have huge sums of money in mutual funds, but that's not how he got rich. And I realized that traditionally these guys are telling you don't want any debt, which mostly I agree with. I agree with it on the consumer side, right? But you as an average person, if you're blue collar and you're making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, right? Got a couple kids and you're a normal person, listen, your only path is you have to take on some leverage or you will stay broke. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. You have to take on some smart debt, so to speak, some positive debt. Like in what I'm talking about is in real estate. I just don't see, or in business, I don't like to borrow for business, but basically you have a couple options. You can create a business, a side hustle, but let's say you don't want to have a business. Cool. But listen, you have to own a business to get rich. You have to. Real estate is a business. A lot of people see it as a passive investment. That's not what it is. It's a business that you own. When you procure that property, even if you hire a property manager, you now have a business. So real estate is the perfect home business. If you have a stay-at-home wife or a stay-at-home husband, they could manage the property while you're at work. Jim Rohn said wages are fine, wages are honorable, wages will pay your bills, but it's profits that'll make you rich. Real estate generates those profits, as does investing in the stock market, okay? as does bonds. I'm not saying don't buy bonds. What I'm saying is the traditional model of as you age, move more of your money. That's bullshit, in my opinion. Because I don't know anyone who got rich with this bond stock allocation, investing 10% of their income and working till they're 65. I don't know anyone who's done that model and they're at a place where I want to be. I know a lot of people that did that model and now they don't have enough money. I know a lot of people like that. So in the book, what I advocated was, we're going to have a job. And in the book, I refer to that as your wealth. And that's where you make your money, right? And with Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman and Tony Robbins, I agree, the necessities bucket, you want to limit, you want to have no debt, really. And I know some people have a hard time with this. But listen, if you're an average person and you make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, and you live a life where you're financing liabilities, shit that goes down like cars and vacations and houses and credit cards, student debt, like you're financing these things. If you live a life where you're doing that, you will have a very, very hard, if not impossible, chance of ever getting rich. Okay? Why? Because you just won't have any money to invest. Because the traditional model of invest 10%, which reality is you probably don't even do this. Truth is, most people, if you were honest, you're not even investing 10% of your income. In order to get rich, now I'm being honest here, to get rich, you're going to have to invest 40 to 50% of your income. If you, as an average person, blue collar, millionaire, if you have any hopes of getting rich in any reasonable time, like 20 years or less, you're going to need to invest 40 to 50% of your income. This is truth. This is not what Wall Street's going to tell you. That is not what your banker is going to tell you. That is not what your financial advisor is going to tell you. No one's going to tell you to invest 40 to 50% of your income. You know why? Because you'll be like, fuck that. I can't do that. Fuck it. I'm out of here. I'm not even participating. But listen, that is the number if you want to get rich. Go do the math on that and you'll see through compound interest, allocating in different assets, purchasing them in good times, you will become very rich. This is fucking truth. This is how you get rich. And this is how I did, okay? So I work a job. If you own a business, great. If you own a business, that's great. The fastest way to wealth is not dividend stocks. People think, well, I'm going to invest in the market. I'm going to just pile up a bunch of... Listen, owning a business is the fastest way. Why? Wages are honorable. Profits are what make you rich. Businesses have tax shelters. They're tax sheltered. They produce profits, right? Profits are taxed different. Some of it you can roll over to other years or you can shelter it all together. Now, real estate, I consider a business. Now, a lot of people would call real estate, RE, I guess, as a passive investment. Fuck that. This is a business. If you learn real estate and you learn how to buy underpriced assets, repair properties, invest, learn how to learn how to take out money, learn how to flip properties, this shit will make you rich. And you don't need a bunch of dumbass courses. You just need to get off your ass, go in the world, and buy a house. But in order to do this, you need to save up money. See, nobody's going to tell you to get off your ass and go into the marketplace and buy a fucking house. But that's what you need to do. You have lived in real estate your entire life. Some reason when it comes to investing, our brains get all weird and we don't understand it. You've lived in an apartment your whole life, or a trailer, or a house. You understand it. And some people, well, I don't know what it should look like. Look around your own fucking house. Is it falling in? Like, you know real estate. You know it. It's like the stock market. You understand it. All of a sudden, people come to the stock market and they don't understand high price, low price, value, dividend yield. Like, this shit is so simple. It's common sense if you just let it sink in and don't overcomplicate it. You understand Pepsi. You understand McDonald's. You understand Starbucks. So people like, well, how do you pick stocks? They're everywhere. They're all around you. Don't overcomplicate this process. Now, as you develop sophistication, repetition is the mother of skill. As you begin to develop skills and you're in the marketplace and you learn and you're reading and you go about month after month, year after year, as you pursue the process of becoming a person who's an expert in stocks, in real estate, in business, right? As you continue to learn, one of the 10 pillars of success is you're always learning. So as you continue to learn, guess what? You get better at it. What hangs up a lot of people is they're waiting to be a fucking master before they even get started. You have no right to think you have that. So go out and then don't buy some, dumbass penny stock hoping to, until you get some skills, right? Go in and buy some shit that you understand. Park your money in there. Put some money. Watch it go up and down. And while you're watching it go up and down, go get more money and put more money in it. And you just keep doing this, and you learn and you develop and you grow as a person, and you keep doing that for a long period of time. And your skill sets, you'll get better and better and better. Some of the houses I bought, I overpaid for. Paid too much money. Got it wrong. Didn't have the numbers right. Guess what I learned? How to get the numbers right. Through experience. I learned through experience. See, that's how God talks to you. Through experience. That's how you allow you. Now, I'm not saying you go out and sabotage yourself, right? But a great way to learn how to be a good fighter is to get in a ring and get punched in the face. And you go, man, I should have ducked. Like, learning that way is one of the great ways to learn. But a lot of times, in order to seek a hack, we never actually get going. So right now is January. Start investing. Open up a brokerage account and just put money in it. Don't buy shit. Just put money in it. And put money in it. And the repetition of being a person that takes money and puts it aside for investing, takes money, puts it aside for investing, takes money, puts it aside for investing, that becomes a way of life. It becomes a philosophy which you live by. So every day I wake up is not to pay bills, is not to pay car payments, is not to get by, is to get fucking rich. That's why I get up. I want to take every fucking dollar and invest it into things that are going to bring me dollars. And guess what? Sometimes I get it wrong. And okay, guess what? I did it again tomorrow, and again the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And over weeks and months and years and decades, guess what? You become rich. And so the closer you can get to this, the closer you can get to 40 or 50%, the better the chances you have of ever getting rich. How much time we got? Now you may say, well, I can't save 40 or 50%. Okay, well, first, obviously we need to work on your limiting beliefs. Because money is unlimited. There's no fucking limit. There's trillions. There's money everywhere. It's being PayPal, Venmo'd, DM'd, falling out of people's pockets. It's everywhere. You have to learn how to serve people. So you need to develop new skills. You need to go and say, hey, what can I do for you that you would give me money? The millionaire code is simple. Time times amount, right? Times amount times yield. I don't know how much time you have, but I know you have right now and tomorrow probably, okay? And every day. So whenever I do investing, I'm thinking 10 years, minimum. If you're thinking, well, I'm not going to hold that 10 years, don't buy it. That's not an investment. That's a speculation. We're not talking about that right now. That's different. But for investing 10 years, I want to buy a house and I need to hold it for 10 years. You'll get so much value and you'll make so much fucking money. If you buy a house, hold it and rent it for 10 years, let them pay down the mortgage, you take the tax deductions, then you flip this thing for double, making yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars in one single fucking transaction. And in the meantime, you bought 9 others and you're doing this roll up and you go from blue collar to rich when you learn that skill right there. That is just one skill inside of all of these skills. That's not even the stock market. So while you're playing this game, you can also be playing the stock market game, right? You could also be learning to trade, right? You could also have a side hustle. But you want to get the bucket straight. So learning all of this shit, and yet you're rolling around with all kinds of debt. You don't have the personal courage or the mental disability. You're not capable. The first thing, your 40 to 50% needs to go to eliminate debt. The only debt you want is debt paying you money. When you make that shift of being a money getter, the art of money getting, the art of creating wealth, like you live to multiply money, multiply it, to get on the other side of the cash register, you will change your life, your family's life, and everyone around you. Hope that helped.